to do this live with you guys. We're talking about oral mastery because, I mean, what man doesn't want to master this? Let me just make sure my light is fully, I just want to see. Okay, there we are. Yeah, so we're talking about oral mastery. I'm cheating. I do have on my pajama bottoms. I thought I could be sneaky and and not wear the shorts that go with this outfit, but I'm just gonna be really honest with you. I'm bloated right now. And so it's like this like big blob of my stomach coming over my shorts. I know that does not sound very sexy considering that I'm gonna be talking to you about oral mastery, but it's real talk. It's really what's happening here. So yes, I do have on my pajama bottoms like typical people do for Zoom call. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And who's here? Let's see. Mo Rick. He's like, this is my favorite topic. And we have the great Magus, expert in a field of unstoppable forces. Ooh, I like that. I really like that. Edward Green author, this topic sucks. I know, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible that we have to hear this on a Friday about how to bring pleasure to a woman's body. Hi, Doug. Welcome. All right, guys, I'm so glad you're here. And hopefully today I don't have to pop off on anyone. Like, I really went hard yesterday. Someone was talking like mad. Two guys were talking mad shit. And like, nah, that's not gonna happen here. I'm gonna pop off on you if you do that. So yesterday we talked about like the power of technique. Hey Robert, glad you're here. We talked about the power of like, you have to have technique, right? Because I was saying that there's another guy who's an expert in the field and he was saying like making a woman feel safe is really important. Hey Christopher. And that's true. Like making a woman feel safe is helpful, but you gotta have some technique. I mean, you gotta know what you're doing. This guy was saying it's not all about technique, but really, if a guy is just going on a woman, going down there, and it's like this maze that he's trying to get out, and he doesn't have a rhythm, he doesn't have direction, doesn't know where he's going, then it's so uncomfortable for us women. It's really uncomfortable to have a man's face right where you pee, and then he's just like, why aren't you enjoying this? What's wrong with you? Because you mother don't know what you're doing. That's why she's not going and surrendering her body and letting go, because you're doing a horrible job. But today we're going to talk about something a little bit different, and we're going to talk about variety. You guys didn't realize I was a comedian as well, right? Yeah, all sorts of little tricks here. Hi, Alan. Hope you enjoyed your birthday. Mine is tomorrow. Happy birthday, darling. PS Gamer, Doug thinks I'm funny. So that's something. Doug thinks I'm funny. Hedonistic, he's like, oh my God, laughing out loud. But it's true. It's true. Tell me it's a lie. Tell me it's a lie. Okay, so I think I'm much better live. Hey, Raymond. I think I'm more entertaining live. Comedy Central for real, Javier, for real. Okay, so let's talk about variety, because someone said something really good. Now the motherfucking link pops up. You know what? The devil is a lie, unless that's my team doing that magically for me. But anyways, I'm not bragging. I've had women say they're pretty happy with my oral skills. Oh, really? Did their bodies say that they were happy? Did their bodies show you that they were happy? My cariño, papi. Thank you so much, Lee. Girls like, girl, you're the whole package, sweetie. Love you, queen. Love you, Lee. So variety is really important. Someone said something really great on the chat yesterday, and he was saying that his wife doesn't like it anymore and that they're not having sex anymore. And the reality is that when it comes to oral, that there's a lot that you can do, meaning there's a lot that you can do with your tongue. There is a lot that you can do with your fingers. And it's changing it up and getting that variety. So the first thing I would highly suggest, like let's just say it's the first time, right? Like, you guys, you're just my homies. I'm just talking to you real, the way I would tell women this stuff, like if we were having girls talk over a glass of wine. But the reality is, the first time you're with a woman and you're gonna give her oral, it really is about technique. Like, that is the most important thing. Because why? That first time is the defining factor if you are ever gonna go back there again. Like, that is the first time that is, and if it's not done right, that technique is not in place, you ain't ever going back to the promised land. No, 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 no. You're just gonna have to circle around the wilderness over and over and over and over and over again. So if you want to be in the promised land, you gotta have some really good technique. But this is where something new comes in the mix, which is variety. You know, when they say variety is the spice of life. And that is where, when you're now being intimate with her, you're in a marriage, you're in a relationship, like you guys are doing this more often, you've showed her some form of technique, so she's like, access granted. You may enter into the holy land of the vagina. So that's when variety is going to be your friend. Because here's the thing, just like sex and sex positions or anything like that, there has to be the variety. If you want her to continue to enjoy sex with you, if you want her to continue releasing a ton of pleasure, then variety is gonna have to change up the mix. It's just like, let's just put it on you. Like, let's say she's giving you a blowjob and she's just like, are you gonna come yet? Are you coming yet? You're like, damn, girl, like put some saliva on that, like change the suction, like do something different. Just don't. It's the same thing for women. When you're like, okay, when I go down on her, I go like a lizard person. I've been watching some wild shit on YouTube about like lizard people. You guys, I can go knee deep in conspiracy theories, but just let me stay focused here. But you could be like a lizard and be like, you're like, are you ready to come yet? And she's like, gross. No, 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 I'm not coming. No, gecko, I'm not gonna come. Gecko. So when you change it up and you give some variety and you change it and you do it different than the way that you're normally doing it. So let's say you normally go straight for the labias, but you start going for the labias and then you stop and then you slide in 2 fingers. And then you get some moisture going in there. And then you take those fingers, you pull them out, shuck them, and then you go back for the labias, and then you go up to that clit, and you start sucking on her clit. She's like, God damn, what is happening here? And she probably won't even be able to say what is happening here. She'll just start screaming in orgasm. But here's the thing. This is why I did the first video all about technique, because unless you start mastering the techniques of it and you give those to her, and unless you're experimenting with her body, you're not going to know which ones land. And so this becomes the exciting part of adventure. And here's the thing, sometimes some women, they get comfortable with you doing things the same way, but you must remain in control the whole time. Why? Because when you're in control, she is more likely to surrender her pleasure over to you. She's more likely to get in her body, feel safe in her body, relax, surrender, and let the top dog handle his business, which is you. You're the top dog. In fact, in the chat, just say, I'm the top dog. Because you have to feel that about yourself. You have to feel like you are the top dog, because the reality is you are the top dog, okay? So variety is taking those techniques that you've learned, and you can get access. It's the oral access here. I've got a whole mastery. I've got tongue magic, but then I have my oral mastery that talks about, oh, we have a woman here, Stacy Wilson. A lady has entered the chat. Stacy, I'm curious why you're here, because this is for men. I'm curious if you have a husband, or I'm curious if you're lesbian, but I'm curious why you're here. It's very rare that I get a lady here. So when you understand and master these techniques, when you go in and she maybe wants you to do things the way you're used to, but no, you're the top dog. You change things up for her and you start giving her that variety. And sometimes you guys, it's Ooh, Stacy. Oh, I like Stacy. She's like, I'm listening to this because if it sounds good, I'm gonna share it with my husband. She's like, yeah, motherfucker, this is how you should be eating my pussy, like this. You probably won't talk to your husband that way, but I'm wild, and that's what I say. But yeah, when it's that variety, no, my husband's perfect in all aspects sexually, but I want to know if there's any new ideas. Yes. So listen, when you're giving her oral and you're down there, sometimes even changing the position, it's the eroticism of having that sense of adventure. So sometimes it's just picking her up, putting her on a table and just going down between her. Sometimes it's just laying on the couch. Sometimes it's just switching it over and throwing her into that 69 position, which did you guys ever notice that we charge for tongue magic? That it's $69. Did you guys ever get onto that? That was quite funny. But it's having that variety. Now, it's also playing with the pressure. You know, it's like, here's all the variety. I hope you have a pen. I hope you have a paper. Here's the variety. The variety is the variety of your tongue. It can, and I talk about this in tongue magic. You can have a flat tongue. You can have a pointy tongue. You can have a soft tongue. You can have a firm tongue. Like there are all sorts of things that you can do with your tongue and to change that variety with her in the bedroom. But there's also the speed of it. And here's the thing, when you're first going down on a woman, don't go in really fast, really soon. No. Let it build up, give it up. But it's the variety of going slow, fast, hard, soft, and knowing when to change that up. Here's the beauty. You always want to pay attention to her body. And as I shared with you yesterday about technique, it's always saying, not, do you like this? That's too much of an open-ended question, but saying like, do you like when I bite you like this? And you show her, you give her that demonstration. Do you like when I nibble on your clitoris like this? Do you like when I lick you on the side like this? Saying those things as opposed to, do you just like it? Because that becomes a very, I think I'm using this word right, innocuous, you know? It's just like, no, it needs to be specific about like, do you like this? So variety is knowing when to lick her hard, when to lick her soft, when to go slowing it down and making it more sensual, and then when to make it like really intense where you're just like devouring her. It's like a firmer lick. There's more pressure. There's more intensity. And when you give her that more intensity, how does her body respond? Does she recoil or does she go, but when you have those techniques and then you start experimenting with the variety, and then, you know, in the oral mastery, I talk about squirting. And the squirting part is that when you've mastered the technique, you're giving her variety. When she's really into it, that's when, why is it withholding a lot of your comments? You guys must be saying some nasty stuff. Oh, Stacy's commenting and it's hiding. Don't hide Stacy's comments. She says, I just want to give you an idea. Don't go straight for her spot with your tongue. Go down, up, and her leg, teasing her until she's wanting that tongue. Thank you, Stacy, because that's what I've been telling them. So another woman is here to confirm what we actually like. And yes, Stacy, that's what I tell these guys. So thank you for confirming that. But when you see that you're using the variety and the variety gets to the level of intensity and she's really getting into it, so that means you're licking her firmer, you're licking her faster, your fingers are inside, they're going a little bit faster. That's where you can actually pull back your mouth and then go into making her squirt. And you know, I have the squirting course, that's a tongue twister, squirting course, and my oral access. So there's a whole bundle where I talk about squirting, exactly how to finger, how to go down on her, and then I share with you a private recorded conversation with me and my friends where we're really honest about some sexual experiences, one that I had never even heard of before. Like one of my friends said something and I was like, oh, I didn't know the body could do that. Like I learned something new, and that's the power of having these conversations and talking about it. Because the reality is, no, We don't just know this. And no, we're not going to get real information from porn. But if we can have real, honest conversations like this here, and we can get that experience, we can get those techniques, then that really changes the game. So let's go back to variety. So you're gonna find your comfort zone. Like once you start realizing that you're really good at maybe licking her in a firm way. I'm sorry, I just had a flashback of one time when someone went down on me. The only time where I was able to work, gosh. See, this is what happens when you know how to give a woman this kind of pleasure. She can just have a flashback just like that, you know, like a whoa. Like I'm in the middle talking about, and I just remember that. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Come back, Erica, come back. You're doing a live video. But yeah, when you know how to like use that pressure and you know how to use that flat tongue, and maybe you get good at that and you're like, okay, I want to keep doing that. But I think that's one of the secrets that we all need to be keenly aware of. And women too, we need to be aware of this when we're making love to our man, is when we realize that we get a really good response. Like this is real talk. Like when you realize you get a really good response, what is a natural thing that you want to do? You want to keep doing that thing over and over, because it's like, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so you want to go back to doing that same thing over and over. But that is such a trap. And that's where people start falling off. That's where her reactions are not the same. That's when she starts giving you excuses of like, you know what, I'm just not feeling it, or can we just get this over with? And what typically happens when a woman starts losing interest, please, please, please write this down. When a woman starts losing interest, it's because you quit changing it up. It means there's no variety there. And when there's no variety there, that's when she starts pulling back. That's when she starts saying like, can we just move on? Can we just do this? This is why variety is so important. This is why I started off with on the YouTube live yesterday about talking about the power of technique, because once you have all those go-tos, you're like, oh shit, I can do this. Why is it holding these reviews? Why, like I can go to this position. I can do this with my tongue. I can give her more pressure. I can lick her a little bit firmly. I can suck here. That is such a good move, guys. Oh, talk about variety. When you're that guy that knows how to like lick and then suck at the same time, and you start mastering that, that is some wild variety right there. Is so you're licking her, but then there's also you're sucking at the same time. It just creates so much pressure down there, and it just creates this like spontaneity where you're just like, what the hell is happening? And at that point, as a woman, I just have to say that when it feels that good, we just don't freaking care. We're like balls out of our minds. The mind is just gone, and we're just completely engulfed in the experience. And that's why you want to get so good at this. You want to get so good at pleasing her below that when you're doing it to her, she gets lost. She gets caught up in the experience. And that's when you know that you've really mastered this. I think one of the biggest things for all of us, I can't even say for women or for men, just now, we're all so in our heads, and it's very rare to meet people who are in their bodies. And so when you can give her this kind of pleasure where she is so in her body, that is like to me, this is the epitome. This is when you know that you're a masterful lover. And this is when a woman knows that you're a masterful lover, is when you give her an experience that she is so not in her head and she's fully in her body, and meaning the moans are just coming out so much stronger. They're not even calculated. They're just randomly coming out. She's grabbing the sheet. She's making those noises. The body is starting to pull and wiggle and jolt. What you're doing is you're bringing her back to her body, which is such a beautiful experience when people now are becoming so engulfed in the matrix and so living in people's heads. Like I just watched the Matrix. Sorry guys, can I just go on this little tangent really fast? I just watched the Matrix. And I'm like, why are we not talking about this? And it talks about how AI, like we're so consumed about where energy is coming from, but they were saying that AI will like overtake, and then the AI starts pulling from humans' energy. And I'm like, aren't we kind of getting prepared by that with social media right now? And the amount of scrolling that we do, we're just so conditioned to do this. I'm just saying, and I think that's why it's super powerful for us to be having sex and to come back to our pleasure and to come back to our body, because that is our source of power. You know, I say this, like sex is that one place that God has created where we can actually create another human life. I do believe that we create through our words, through visualization, all these things. But in terms of a physical act, it is the one place where we play God. When a man and a woman come together and they share an intercourse, it is the moment where they become in their godlike presence. So it's powerful what we're talking about here, but it's not just the act of sex. It's two people really surrendered to pleasure. And the only way that you can truly surrender to pleasure is by getting out of your head and getting into your body. And the only way that the two of you are going to have that experience of leaving your head, coming back to your body, is through changing it up. It's having that variety. It's having that sense of adventure when you're in the bedroom. So that's why I make these incredible courses that I make that you can get. It's in the chat. And if you can't access it on the chat, I highly encourage you, go to Arica-Angelo.com. We have a big red banner there where you can get access to this. But this is the power. It's restoring us back to our godlike power, back to our pleasure, back to our power source, less on our phones, more in our body, and more into our pleasure. Because the reality is life can be hard and life can be challenging. And I'm sure God is looking at us like, you guys, I gave you genitals and I gave you tongues and I gave you fingers so that you guys could be having all the pleasure in the world. Why are you guys so damn miserable? Get out there and start experiencing one another. Experience your pleasure. Am I right or am I right? I am right. So get the oral access. It's in the comment section. It's in the description, and it's also on Arica-Angelo.com. So I want to come back to the chat, say hello to you guys. Thomas, I love my Thomas. Thomas is my #1 fan. Thomas, I got my water. Guys, also, if you're a genius, I'm not a genius at this stuff. It's probably really easy. I live in France, and I need to figure out how to get this stuff delivered to my house, because I am paying 20 euros. I'm embarrassed to say this, 20 euros to get 3 cases delivered to my place. So, and I live in France, so you know, the roads are tiny. You're like, why don't you just pull up a cart? And the grocery store only allows 3 cases at a time. I need this in bulk because I'm drinking only bottled water from the glass right now. All right, that's my side note. Oh, who's here? B says, hey baby, ¿qué pasó? I'm so many languages. I'm like, molto bene, que fuego, all of these languages. Does having a warm, comfortable breath count from kissing a woman in the mouth? Yeah, a warm mouth is really nice, really, really nice. But you can change it up back to variety. Throw a little ice cube in your ice. Ooh, that's a good variety. I should talk about variety with that. Changing up the temperature. Yeah, when you're going down, thank you, Ninja Wolf. You just gave me an idea. When you're going down on a woman, oh, there's something like so hot, like when you take an ice cube in your mouth and it's cold and you just change that temperature up where you may have a warm mouth, as we do, and you're there, but then you like just whip out a little ice cube from the side because you have a little bowl because you're prepared, and then you put that ice cube in and you just hold it in your mouth, and then you start playing around the outside, and then you remove the ice or swallow the ice, and then take that cold tongue and just change it up by licking her clitoris or licking her labias. It's so beautiful. Alan Springsteen, does the old school Tootsie Pop commercial come in? How many licks does it take? That is so good, and it's true. How many licks does it take to get her to orgasm? Technique is key. Hey, Darth Brooks, take LSD with her. Ooh, I don't know if I should be talking about that online, but I don't know about that one. Lee says, yes, sucking and licking at the same time, like French kissing till they cross the line, finish line. Then she pulls you up for the power thrusting. That's right, Lee. That's what's up. Sean's like, right. George says, I took my time on this lady's body everywhere but her yoni. By the time I kiss and suck her lip on both sides, I slowing hit that button and fireworks. She never came so fast in her life. My man. So Denzel Washington. My man. My man. Yes, hydrating. Nicholas says, lovin' for living, the priceless advice and direction. You're so welcome, darling. It's a much nicer crew in this chat. Yesterday, I had 2 assholes come for me, and I was like, do you not know who I am? Do you know I will destroy you, man? Fernando, hi, darling. Edward Green, God, I love temperature play. Works nicely with hot coffee, too. Well, that's an interesting plot twist. Okay, Edward showing up with the hot coffee. Okay. Steaming hot without even trying to melt that ice quickly. Well said, Sean. Hi, Scott. Good morning. Ooh, this is a good one. All right, guys. This is where you bring in those questions for me. Tambura Treat says, what happens after climax and she wants to stop because it's too much? Whoa. My man. So when a woman says it's too much, this is where you get to challenge her and be like, I feel like you could take some more. And this is what you do. You start kissing on her neck. You let her come back to her breath. You let her feel more in charge. And then, here's such a sexy move. Then you take your beautiful penis and you just, as you're kissing her, you just let it rub on the outside. You're not penetrating her. You're not doing it. It's just casually just sliding up and down there. And what that does is it starts turning her on to go for another round. So you let her cool down, and it depends on the relationship. Like once you start knowing your woman and you guys are married, you're in a relationship, it's like, oh, it's too much, stop. There's that fine line where women still want more. And so if you try for more and she's like moaning and she's enjoying it, then you continue on. But if she's like, no, I physically can't, then that's where you just start kissing her more. You start bringing her, let that temperature cool down just a little bit, but then allow your penis to graze along her vagina so she gets the itch again. She's like, and I'm ready to go again. Here's the thing, Erica, she'll want to take a total break. Just in those moments, just ask if you can cuddle her, if you can just like hold her, and just because you want to keep that connection going. Guys, I love when you come in with your questions and your responses, but before I forget, please, in the chat section, you've got the oral access, you've got tongue magic, you've got squirting, you've got the fingering training, you've got the whole conversation between me and my friends, a very private conversation about sex that it's just very tell-all. And then the squirting video, I think there are like 4 to 5 video trainings in that squirting. So make sure that you get that oral mastery. It's in the comment section, it's in the description, and it's also on Arica-Angelo.com. Edward Green author says you can back off and touch elsewhere, or you can wrap her up in bed and go fetch refreshments. That is a sweet idea. Like when you're going, like, let me go get you some water, or let me get you, I mean, man, if someone said like, I'm gonna bring you back a piece of chocolate, I'd be like, girl, we're staying right here. We're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. Guys, do you have any more questions for me? I would love to hear any more questions you may have. And we are doing this again tomorrow. Same time, guys, the exact same time, we're gonna be back here talking about oral mastery. So I hope that you guys have it on your calendar, you have it written down, that tomorrow is the day where we are talking about this again. And I'm just going over my notes while I'm waiting for your questions. Thank you for the kissy emoji, Doug. Wait, I just lost that. Give her dark chocolate. Yes, dark chocolate. I eat that stuff every single day. Timbura says, I've been blessed my entire life. The problem I've had is finding compatible women that I also desire. Okay, hot stuff. Does I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand your question, Damani. Does more mons, pubis pressure, help you women come? There is something about touching on the lower part of a woman's stomach above the pubic area that when you push on that area, especially for fingering or even having sex, when you push on that area, holy Toledo. So tomorrow, you guys, just so you know, Thomas, that's why I'm eating so much dark chocolate. Me too, Thomas. I keep like 3 to 5 bars of dark chocolate in my refrigerator. But tomorrow, you guys, we are going to talk about the whole element of listening to a woman's body. And I want to give you some like really big signals so that you don't overlook them and just go, oh, I just thought she was uncomfortable. Or I know that when the body starts responding, it gets a little bit confusing. And so be prepared. Like if you have any question tomorrow, this is your time. Like when you feel like you're getting mixed signals about her body, and you're like, Erica, when I do these things, I got your tongue magic, I'm doing the oral mastery, but I get a little confused, like when her body does this or does that. I want to help you kind of decode those things so that when you go in, you know exactly what those movements mean, why her body is reacting that way. NAFTA says, at work and listening with my headphones. This is great. That's such a cool way to spend your time at work, is hearing about how to go down on a woman. Edward Green Author says, top ridge of the pubic bone is a fabulous erogenous zone in both sexes, and pressure on the mons front of the pubic bone is quite good too. Yes, guys, I just love these comments. I absolutely love it. Ninja, why are you asking me how much I weigh? I don't know. I'm a little heavier than I'd like to be right now. Okay, any more questions for me? Thomas, at work with the door ajar. That's hilarious. Guys, I really enjoy doing these lives with you. It's nice to have you guys in the actual chat. I miss my Zoom days. I miss being able to see everyone's faces. I wish there was a fun way to do this with Zoom. One more is being withheld. Ooh, I love, good question. Alan Springsteen. He's like, what about licking the inside of the vagina? Is that more of a personal preference? Everyone's going to be a little bit different, but going in with your tongue and licking, she may not want you to stay there, but that's part of variety as well, because when you're looking on the outside, yes, there are those erogenous zones. But when you change it up and you put your tongue inside of there, it's just something that she's not expecting. So what you want to do is just kind of play with it. It's not going to make her necessarily orgasm, because it's not like the tongue can reach inside and hit the G spot, but it's more of like a novelty. It's like, oh, it's just something that's unusual. It's adding to the variety that we're talking about. So when you throw in that bit of variety, it makes it a little bit more like, oh, I wasn't expecting, okay, finger, yes. Tongue, no, maybe I wasn't expecting that. So yes, throwing in that variety and doing that for her would be interesting. Ninja Wolf, you're so strange. I don't want to be rude, but you weigh approximately 146 pounds. Oh, honey, I know I do not weigh 146 pounds, darling. Someone asked, what is my ethnicity? Oh, child. What am I not? I am, someone said Tex-Mex, yeah? I am Tex-Mex, but 115, I don't actually know what I weigh. But I know it's not 146. That's too much for me, man. I don't weigh that much. I am Mexican. I am Spanish. I am French. I am Czech. And those are just the main ones. But when you look up my whole thing, I've got tons of stuff going on. I'm like a little bit African, I'm a little bit Irish, a little bit, there's like, it's so, but I think the main ones are Czech, French, Spanish, and Mexican. So yeah. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Trust me, if you really want to master this, I highly encourage you, click the link here, get into that oral mastery and learn how to make her squirt, learn how to finger her properly, get the tongue magic, learn how to go down on her properly, because when you can get her back into her body and keep her there by changing it up with that variety, this is living. This is the mother freaking way of living, is having these powerful erotic experiences. And I want to leave you with one of my favorite quotes. I just had dinner with a dear friend of mine from Bali last night here in Monaco at one of my favorite restaurants. And we were talking, I shared with him my favorite book in the whole world that changed my life. But here was the quote that was said, and I believe that this kind of talk, what we're talking about, oral mastery, pleasure, bringing that eroticism back to the bedroom. And I want to end with this quote, and it says, and I don't remember who said it, but it says that it's the glory of God for man to be fully alive. And I believe that in the bedroom, when we have those holy encounters with one another, where heaven and earth collide, in those powerful erotic moments, when you know how to do these things and you can bring her to that heavenly experience where she's out of her mind, she's in her body, and you can just feel the power of each other in that moment, those universes between human beings colliding together. When you know how to create these experiences, this is heaven on earth. This is the glory of God, of us as human beings being fully alive. So I encourage you, come alive, live life, have these experiences, come back to your body and get that oral mastery. Guys, I love you so much. Me and my PJs are gonna go. And I hope that this helped you. I will see you guys tomorrow where we talk about how to listen to her body. And you can come in with your questions, and I cannot wait to answer those for you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. It's really an honor to get to serve you. And I will see you all tomorrow. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, Erica, you're so wappa. I haven't heard wappa in a long time. Thank you. Virtual hugs to you guys too. I love you. Bisou, bisou, bisou. I love you all. That means kisses in French. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time. Take care, guys.